Hello, hello.
Hi there.
I'm Selene Castrovilla,
I'm Pascale.
and this is Life in Jest. We should practice if we should do it in unison together.
We tried that. That didn't work.
I thought maybe Life in Jest.
That sounds crazy.
No, we just did a trailer, and it was amusing. What?
It took us forever to record it because
Yeah.
there were a lot of fuck ups and a lot of laughing.
It was. And, you know, the littler things are harder, I think. Aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a lesson in life, people. It's a lesson in life. So, like,
See, we've taught you something.
You were looking for the lesson, and you got it. You got it.
We fucking helped your life.
That's it. Okay. So I guess pencil out a lot of time for the little stuff. And then the big stuff, let it go. That's right? Good idea?
Yeah, no, I'm not good at that. We just had a whole conversation about how I can't let shit go.
No, I know. Well, sometimes I can. It depends. It depends. Today I was singing, and that made me feel good.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was singing to the dog, but the dog refuses to sing with me.
Not so much.
And he doesn't dance.
Oh.
He doesn't dance now. He makes money moves.
That Cardi B is hilarious.
She is very funny. I have to follow her.
Oh, yeah.
I got to follow her. I got to. Okay, so we're going to split up the next two episodes because we want to talk about the Karen Reed opening, and we want to release it before you would hear it normally because it'll be kind of old by then.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Karen Reed, it's funny because you told me that it was on live. How did you know that?
Because someone told me.
Oh.
I never know shit.
I was wondering.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're like, it's on. I'm like, and there's such pressure when there's a live trial. Oh my God.
I have to tell you, I got busy at work. I listened to maybe an hour. And
it's a big commitment to listen to that. I like opening statements there because that sort of lays out everybody's strategy. So that's why I wanted to talk about them. But when it comes to witnesses, testimony is so boring. I really want to carve it out.
Oh my God, that first guy, the first responder.
Not all.
My God.
Does he have the best name ever?
Oh, is that his name? I missed it.
Not all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so boring.
Oh, they were going on and on about him, like how he got his degree. I'm like, who cares?
I know. I thought the same thing. I'm like, TikTok motherfuckers.
Oh my God. And he was one of those people that's just smart at what he does, but stupid elsewhere.
I know, but his job, he was very knowledgeable.
Oh,
he was really good.
Well, it's interesting. You know, people mostly like that where they're really good at one thing and then suck at everything else.
Yeah.
Is that right? Because I don't really get out much.
Yeah. No, that's the world.
Okay. All right. Now I know. Now I know why I stay home.
I know. The more I experience in the outside world, the more I want to stay home.
Yeah. Well, at least he's very good at one thing. We'll hand him that.
Yeah, no,
he's very good.
If I was in trouble, I would want that guy.
He did. He seemed to really know his stuff, in all fairness. But, well, let's start. We'll get back to him. I want to start off with the fact that we have the new prosecutor now for Karen. And they made a big deal out of it. They brought in a guy who doesn't work with them. Right?
Oh, I missed that.
Well, it wasn't announced yesterday. It was. I just went back and read. I figured, I knew they were getting a new prosecutor because the guy sucked, right? And I think that's sort of not fair in a way to her because they get to polish up what they did wrong. But in any case, they fired the other ones, or they still work there, I'm sure. And now they brought in a guy named Hank Brennan, but he doesn't work for them. And he's most famous for defending Whitey Bulger.
Really? How old is he?
Whitey Bulger only had the trial in 2013.
Oh, really?
I know. Doesn't he sound like it'd be a long time ago?
Yes.
There must be someone else with a similar name.
Maybe. Because I was like, I feel like that happened a really long time ago.
Well,
really?
no.
What Whitey am I thinking of? Whose name is Whitey?
Well, it's Whitey Ford, but I don't know who he is.
Oh, and there was a Whitey on Leave It to Beaver.
Well, that must be it then. Well, then there's Whitey on the moon.
Nobody's going to know what I'm saying.
Some might. Okay. I don't know how old Whitey was, but this guy, they're hiring him based on his defense of Whitey Bulger. He got convicted. He got 2 life sentences plus 5 years. I mean, they really wanted his ass to stay in jail.
Wow.
I wish that could happen with a lot of other people. A lot of people, I think, get out too soon. You know, they go life, but you can get out after 5 years, some bullshit, you know. But you know what happened? He got killed in jail 5 years later. The trial was in 2013 and he got killed in jail in 2018.
Bummer.
I think they found out, apparently he had become an informant. at some point.
Snitches get stitches.
And we got more than stitches.
He sure did.
So, don't you love how we're laughing at death? He sounds like he was not a great guy. They said he was complicit in 19 murders, according to the trial. So,
well,
we can laugh at him then.
Yeah, what you get.
Yeah. So, I don't know what made them hire the guy that couldn't get what he pulled through. But they did. And so he said, I assume full responsibility. Good to know. Not just part responsibility.
Well, good
and
for him.
All obligations for prosecuting this case, and will do so meticulously, ethically, and zealously without compromise. We thought you were going to just phone it in, sir. I have 2 core obligations. The first is to make certain that Karen Reed receives a fair trial. Ms. Reed will receive the dignity and fairness that every defendant deserves in our criminal justice system. Don't you know they probably had to put that in because of all the accusations from before? You know, that's not normally what they don't usually, I don't think they usually say that much. The second is to ensure that the facts surrounding John O'Keefe's death are fully and fairly aired in the courtroom without outside influence.
Ah.
By the way, Turtle Boy is being called as a...
What?
Yeah.
Trial without Turtle Boy.
I don't know what they're trying to prove here. Okay, so Alan Jackson, Mr. Jackson, if you're nasty, he found out the guy was hired. He said that using taxpayer money funds to hire an outside lawyer to prosecute this case speaks volumes about his confidence in his own team. You know, the DA.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, legal experts said that it actually is a good idea to appoint a special prosecutor because there was so many accusations of everybody piling up against her, mishandling the case. The very least was mishandling, and then there were accusations of actually fraud against her. So it makes sense to bring in somebody new. But, so someone said this is the right move, but is also the very smart move. And I will say, he's brought up some things that I never heard about in the first case, which I also don't think is entirely fair. I know there's retrials, and a lot of times they stick with the evidence that they had. They don't let new stuff in. But this time, they are bringing in new stuff.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think it's fair, but this is something they must have hashed out beforehand, and it's all up to the judge, I guess, and the state. Massachusetts has very strict rules that they are more allowing to the prosecution from what I see, and I know because I watched that show. What was that show I watched?
Daylight?
No. I used to watch that show set in Boston all the time. I loved it.
I have no idea. Boston Legal?
No, that was garbage.
Law and Order?
No, Boston Legal sprang
I don't watch any of these shows, so I have no idea.
The Practice, the best law show ever.
I would have just named random
Boston
shows.
Legal came from that. It was a joke when they started. They had him in at the end. That guy Shatner. Shatner is funny in his own way, but he shouldn't have a show. Not that show. He ruined law. Ruined it.
I never watch any of those shows, so I have no idea.
The Practice is hands down the best law show ever. Ever. Amazing. Loved it. Can I say that enough? Okay. Before we get into the case, I just want to say one more thing regarding the petition to the Supreme Court. I think we talked about the fact that another jury, the last jury, said they were hung, but then they came back and they said that they found 2 things. They really had agreed on the murder 2 and something else. Leaving manslaughter, they were hung on. Murder 2, which is the most important thing, they had agreed, not guilty. It was been argued up to the Supreme Court. And I had heard in news that the Supreme Court just refused to hear the case, but it's not true. What the Supreme Court refused to do was do it in haste. They refused to drop everything. I don't know what's wrong with these people. This is clearly the most important thing going on in the world. Of course, I'm being facetious. But they actually are going to do a decision by May 5th. So, which is pretty fast still. It'll be interesting to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a very, my son's birthday.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, the question of the jury. They all say that they agreed, but they just didn't sign that paper. They didn't announce it at the time. Interesting. I personally think that they should drop it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Okay, so this is sad. Prosecutor Brennan has Karen Reed's father on the witness list.
Oh,
her own father has to testify against her.
Damn.
She really needs to keep her mouth shut, is what it is.
Oh, she isn't likable at all.
But she's just a yakkatori.
She's not. Yeah, she's not doing herself.
Because they said that they want him to testify about various admissions made by the defendant to him. Now, how do they even know that? She probably said it Because remember, she said things she said to her father. She needed to not speak at all, really. Right?
I have to say, though, and I know this is probably stupid, so whatever.
But is it stupid?
Yes, it is. It's honestly pretty stupid because it's not really rational, I guess.
Yeah.
I just feel like if she was guilty, she wouldn't yap like that.
You have a point. But they're arguing that she was so drunk she didn't even know she did it.
I mean, that's a possibility too. I have to tell you, I don't know if she did it or
I don't think you're right.
I don't think she did it. I think she's guilty of driving drunk. I think she's guilty of other things.
Arguing with me about that when I said that. Like, clearly she's drunk. But they can't. I don't think because they didn't breathalyze her at that moment. Yeah.
But I just, at the end of the day, I think there is so much reasonable doubt whether she did it or not.
There's no question. I mean, the more they bring up, the more it says reasonable doubt the other way in the new things. I'll explain that to you.
Go ahead.
But I mean, there's definitely been guilty people that have gone around like crazily denying it. But those are really like pathological people that absolutely knew they did it. Like she
doesn't strike me as that kind of person.
I don't think so either. I really don't think she did it. I think because when you hear about all these things that happened that she was not a party to, it's like, how could all these things happen?
I agree.
Right? And why would all these things happen?
They're very suspect.
Very suspect. So yeah, I don't think she did it. No, I don't.
I don't think so either. But like, once again, she's not doing herself any favors.
No. Turtle Boy is also going to, like I said, going to be called. Now they're going to ask him what they've spoken about. I really don't see what that has to do with anything.
I don't think so either.
I mean, he hasn't come up with anything that we all. He might have been the first to say some of these things, but these things were in the trial about the people, the people that did other things, the Alberts and all that.
And he wasn't involved with her before this all
happened, right?
This is after the fact?
He's one of those people that talks about gossip, the news gossip, and that's how he makes his living or whatever. And then he got caught up in this because it was interesting, I guess, and it lived around there.
Yeah.
And I guess he still does. And then they started communicating because, look, I would want to talk to someone who supported me too, honestly. You have so many people against you. I would probably be like, thank you. I don't know if I would have a continued relationship, but I mean, it is not. And so I don't know what they're going to ask him that would affect this case and that the jury needs to see testimony of. I think it's a waste of time. But that backfires because juries don't like their time wasted.
No.
So we'll see what happens. So Brennan, in his opening statement, said that the firefighters who tried to save O'Keefe heard the words from Reed, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. So
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. But then we had the testimony from the one guy. Brennan said, this is new. Brennan said that cell phone data shows exactly when and where O'Keefe moved before taking his final steps at 12:31 a.m. No one has mentioned that before.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
And they said that the data showing the temperature of O'Keefe's cell phone battery will be critical of your analysis of this case.
Really?
Okay, that I don't agree with. If he took a final step at 12:31 a.m., I guess we're assuming the phone never got used after that. So then everybody should know what the cell phone battery temperature should be. And if the battery temperature is different, that would indicate that someone else had tampered with it because she was not there.
Yeah.
So I can't see what could he have to say about the cell phone temperature that would not indict his witnesses instead of her?
Well, he must have something. It must be something.
Sometimes because they sometimes have smoke and mirrors. Sometimes they say stuff.
Oh yeah.
In the opening, the opening is a time to really lay out. That other guy laid out the first guy was so boring. The first prosecutor, he went on forever and he put us all to sleep. And I don't know how the jury kept their eyes open. This guy was succinct, but they bring in these things, and then people take notes in the jury, and I think the opening and the closing are the two most important parts of a trial.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what this guy has to say. I think that can only indict other people. He said cell phone data also shows Reed called O'Keefe 40 times, all of which went unanswered. If she called him 40 times, what makes you think that she knew that he was hit? Because it sounds to me like, yeah, if you say you're trying to act like you didn't hit him and call 40 times is excessive.
Yeah, that sounds like someone who's pissed.
Yeah. And then he said, well, I don't think I wrote this down, but I know she said, like, I hate you, whatever. She said a lot of mean things to him.
She sure did.
I think if I knew that I hit somebody and I was covering up, I would not say such mean things. I'd be like, oh, baby, are you okay? I was worried about you. Like that.
She sounds really pissed.
Right. She does not sound like, right. But she just doesn't sound like someone that knows she hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because you could be pissed and hit somebody. And then but also she was so drunk. Who is she? Machiavelli? That she's gonna be the greatest plotter? Like no morals, whatever. Like if you accidentally hit somebody in the snow, angry or not or whatever, you're suddenly gonna cover it up with this huge, because he said, and this is where the plot and the cover up begins. There's no way she's plotting at that moment. She was drunk. She wanted to go to sleep. She needed to pee. I remember she said in one of her interviews, she was mad because she had to pee, and she was, I can understand that. Because I can understand waiting outside someone's house, because I had a boyfriend that he also would take me to these places where I felt kind of uncomfortable with the people. I don't know if I would have sat in the car, but say she's more like that or whatever. And I could see when she's like, damn it, he knew I had to pee. Where is he? Right?
I would have dropped him off and said, see ya.
And I wouldn't want to be.
See you later.
I know.
Take an Uber.
Well, that's basically what she did.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sit in front of somebody's house. Get out of here.
Well, having to pee is the worst.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't comfortable with those people, I would go home immediately.
Well, there was a guy that she was sexting to, or I don't know, she kissed him.
Oh, yeah.
He was in there. What a place to go. First of all, you're drunk. You drank. There's going to be a nor'easter. You need to go drink some more? What's the matter with you people? Okay.
They all made some really bad decisions.
They really did. And then he said that he's got new evidence from her SUV black box. Now, how did they not know that the first time? It's the same SUV. That box was there all the time. How could he have new evidence from the black box?
I don't know. What is the evidence?
He says that the data reveals different things than what were discussed in the first trial. He says she threw her Lexus into neutral and then reverse. And then that sounds like you would drop out your, they always talk about dropping out your thing. What is that thing you drop out?
Transmission?
Right. She didn't do that though. And then put her foot on the gas pedal to 75% acceleration. Wow, they knew all that.
Wow.
Don't get it, Lexus. But I want to know how they didn't know that before. What kind of people were prosecuting before?
I don't know.
He said she clipped John O'Keefe. He fell backwards, hit his head, broke his skull. That's what this guy said.
Oh, well, that's not nice.
I just don't get it. And I really, once again, I don't know how they can have all these, they're allowed to bring in new evidence, but I guess that was discussed beforehand. I would hope, or else there would be a lot of objections from defense. And there's really bad news for Karen, because she couldn't keep her mouth shut. And they played a clip from her on October 2024 Dateline. She was interviewed and she said, I didn't think I hit him. I remember her saying it.
Wow.
I didn't think I hit him.
I watched that, yeah.
But could I have clipped him? Could I have tapped him in the knee and incapacitated him? He didn't look mortally wounded as far as I could see. That's not good.
No.
And then she said, but could I have done something that knocked him out in the darkness, in his drunkenness and in the cold? He didn't come to again. That's really bad. When she's saying he didn't look mortally wounded, that sounds like she saw him go down.
Yeah, that's like the OJ if I did it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I watched that. How did I not know that?
I don't understand. Most of these people, when they have these interviews, the lawyer's sitting right there and they're like, no. Don't
the
say
lawyer
that.
was with her in that in that Dateline.
Not to say that.
I don't know.
The bad lawyer. It wasn't the new guy. It was Yankovic or whatever the guy's name.
Weird Al was her lawyer.
He's a good lawyer, but he didn't apparently know what to do. Okay, but I'm saying you could think that she's been gaslit and this and that, and she's just going through the what ifs. But the way she phrased it, when she said he didn't look mortally wounded, that sounds like she saw him.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's unfortunate.
It is
Maybe
unfortunate.
She did do it.
I don't think she did it, but I think she just said it stupidly. A lot of times I babble, as you might have noticed, and I say stupid things that I might not have. It might be completely out of context. I put myself out of context. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. But her lawyer should have said something about that. He should have been like, eliminate that clip, please. But they used that at the very end of the opening. So then Alan Jackson Mr. Jackson, if you're nasty, delivered his opening statement. And last time it was Yannetti. That's the guy's name. Yannetti delivered. See, I think now they're really relying on Jackson is the main, is like the big bucks guy that they brought in from LA. Meanwhile, he did defend Kevin Spacey and he got him off, but I wouldn't even brag about that.
No.
It wasn't that big trial. It was a smaller one, but Kevin Spacey,
that guy.
Scaby.
Oh my.
Well, he's not, is he likable?
No, not particularly.
Do people believe he didn't do it because he was found not guilty?
No, I don't think so.
I think he got completely off from when I was reading.
Did he?
I think so. The biggest trial was in England. He got off from that one, but that wasn't this guy either. This guy did one in Massachusetts. Anyway, Jackson was a big prosecutor, and he prosecuted Phil Spector.
Oh,
and he won the conviction for him. So that was good. That was good. So he's been voted like one of the top 100 lawyers in California, and I think that means a lot in California because they do have a hell of a lot of lawyers.
Oh, good for him.
So he started out. They have a new strategy where they're just flat out, this is a frame job. Like that's it. There's no like alternate. Like, did she accidentally this and that? No, it's she didn't do this at all. This is a frame job. And he starts out by saying there was no collision with John O'Keefe. And he said John O'Keefe did not die from being hit by a vehicle. Period. The facts will show that, the evidence will show that, the data will show that, the science will show that, and the experts will tell you that. It's crazy how both of them are like, yeah, the science, the data. How are these things going to prove both sides?
I don't know, but I have to tell you, this guy was super convincing.
He's very good. Yeah. He said that the investigation into O'Keefe's death was corrupted by bias, corrupted by incompetence, corrupted by deceit.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. No matter what happened.
Yeah.
There's too much weird shit that went down.
Well,
really,
yeah. Unless they find stuff from that black box thing is so,
yeah.
I don't know, but I still I want an explanation for why these people had all these butt calls and all that.
Yeah, and the rest of it,
the whole thing,
sold the house, they got rid of the dog, they destroyed the phones. Like, why would they do all that?
Seriously, they sold the house that was like a childhood home of the family right after.
That makes no sense.
And the poor dog got rehomed. I mean, like, why would you do that? And destroy your phones? Those two guys, the main guys, destroyed their phones. Why?
That's weird. I mean, the house.
No,
I could. The
all
only
of a sudden,
reason
they lived there so long.
Maybe that someone died there. That's the only reason. I don't think so
either.
either.
Snow outside.
Listen, I know somebody who had somebody murdered in their house and they didn't fucking move.
Well, the other interesting thing though is if you sell your house, you also got to make sure the evidence is wiped out, because I've heard about people leaving the house and then they find evidence. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But these guys are cops.
Thing really,
yeah.
The dog and the phone thing really pushed it over the edge from it.
Yeah, that poor doggy.
They had the dog for 7 years.
It doesn't make sense.
That's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't. After. I mean, that's the thing.
I could see you get rid of your dog as a puppy. I mean, people are jerks, or young puppy.
But if the dog did it, why not just say my dog? Why would you come? And first of all, if he was still alive and she Googled, how slog to die in the snow, I mean, you're gonna throw a guy out to die in the snow because you don't want your dog to get put down? What are you saying?
I don't think the dog killed him.
The dog had to have something to do with it if they were.
The dog probably attacked him, but I don't think the dog killed him.
So you're saying they had to get rid of the dog just in the general cover up of somebody killed him? Somebody had to want to put him out in the snow to die if they Googled how long to die in the snow. And she says she did it at 6 a.m., but I've never heard of those things get wrong before.
And even if she did, why did she delete it?
Right. She deleted it.
I mean, I guess you could kind of get over it. I didn't believe her, but to delete it, like, why would you do that? If you were in such a state that you're checking, you just found this guy in the snow.
She's the one that was driving with Karen and the neighbor. They were driving with Karen.
Yeah.
So she says Karen asked her to Google that. Why would Karen ask her to Google that when they already found him and the police are on their way? Why does she need to be Googled? She's just trying to save him at that point. That makes no sense. Well, why would she do that?
All of these people's behavior was suspicious. Something's going on. Something is clearly not right.
Okay. Well, Brian, the other Brian, what's his name again? Brian. Brian Higgins. He's the one that she kissed. I don't know why, the ugly guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Instead of going home during a nor'easter, he went to his office. He was a state trooper, I think, but he had an office at the Canton Police Department. Nice, right? He didn't even know he didn't work there. And he went there at 1:25
He had
a.m.
an office and he didn't work there?
Right. But, well, that shows how close they all are, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's weird.
But also, why would he go there 1:25 a.m. in the middle of a snowstorm? Why not go home? It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
And then he had a 22-second phone call with Brian Albert, the guy that owned the house. They were both there. Why? And they both lied and said they didn't have this conversation. And then they both got rid of their phones. And then the Albert family are really strongly connected with everybody. Besides being in law enforcement, they're just really tight with like everybody. And they said, now, I don't understand. Jackson said that only one person 2 weeks later said she heard Karen confess. But that's obviously not true, because then he called up that other paramedic right away that said, I hit him. Why did he say that? It was a weird thing to say. He kept saying, while Karen slept, and then these other, at one point he called the other people busy bees.
Yes.
And they were all covering up. I mean, it does seem odd. Like, why would these people should have gone to bed if they're so innocent?
Right. Like, if they had nothing to do with it, like, are they just really sketchy people? Everything they did was sketchy.
Doesn't make sense. You don't just suddenly, and then the thing, again, the most damning thing of all, well, the damning against them than the fact that Karen is innocent, is the snowplow guy. He said first time he came around at 2:30, there was nobody in the snow, right? There was nothing there. Second time, it was blocked by a Ford Edge.
Yes.
And it was parked there at 3:30 a.m. Why was a car suddenly parked there at 3:30 a.m.? That was owned. It's a popular car with the Albert family. Yeah. More than one person has one. Now, come on.
Yeah.
Do we have to say more?
That's what I thought. Once again,
the snowplow guy is it. He remembered everything.
I know. No matter what happened that night, something is going on.
Yeah.
And isn't that the thing? If there's reasonable doubt,
that's it.
You can't find the person guilty, and there's so much reasonable doubt.
Exactly. And
listen, I don't want her to get off if she did it either.
No,
but
I just thought that I got dragged into this whole. I mean, nobody dragged me, but first I'm like, I heard the basic premise. I'm like, okay, but just hearing of all the reasonable doubt stuff, all this crazy stuff that was going on with these people, they're not acting innocent. Innocent people go to bed if he never came in, he never came in. They would have gone to bed. They would have been drinking and gone to bed. That guy wouldn't have gone to the office. There wouldn't be all these butt dials all over. Everybody was sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Everything.
The night of the butt dials. So then we have the first witness, Nuttall. He has the best name.
Nuttall.
And it was pretty damning what he said. She said that he goes, do you know him? And she goes, I hit him. I don't know. I mean, I think that she was probably talking to other people, like, and like, who convinced her. They were probably saying, did you hit him? And she was just in a panic.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But then Jackson said, well, last time you only testified that she said, I hit him.
I know.
And they went on, and he got him so twisted. He got now. So like, he really threw a lot of doubt onto this guy, because he's like, so your memory got better over the years? It's funny because most people's memories go, but then he caught him in something, and the guy did not know. He didn't remember what John O'Keefe was wearing at all. The guy testified he was wearing like a puffy coat and this and that, and he was wearing only like a light, zip up. He completely got him on that for the second time, and so he cast doubt on the guy. But did he cast enough? That's a question. I don't know. I feel like she might have said it, but you know how people, like, somebody will say, like, it's my fault, but in the shock of it, like, I really don't know. I don't think that's a out and out confession. If she said it, she must have said it. If you heard, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I feel like she probably said it, but I agree with you. I wouldn't be so positive that she was saying that she actually did it.
And why would she?
Right.
Why would you wouldn't, like, I hit him. Here I am,
And I have to say, I mean, the fact that he couldn't remember what he was wearing, I don't think that's that crazy.
You don't think it's crazy that he couldn't remember? Oh, but he was no. What's crazy is how sure he was of what he was wearing. He was so sure, and he was so wrong. That's the thing that's
wrong.
But
you hear this a lot.
He described it perfectly.
I know.
A non-existence jacket.
But you hear it a lot that there'll be 2 or 3 witnesses, and they will all say something different.
That's the problem with witnesses in general, because unless you have it on recording. By the way, the recording they kept making us watch in the snow, it was awful. It was so stupid.
I was listening to it, so I didn't know what was playing. I was working, so I was just listening.
I got to tell you, it was really even in the end. Nuttall was like, "Can I see that again?" She goes, "No, you may not."
Oh, I heard that.
We've seen enough. We have seen this video so many times because it was the stupidest. Like you can't make anything out. Like there was really no point to any of it. Are you in the frame? Who's in the frame? We know who was there. What's the friggin' difference?
I don't know.
It was really meticulously dull. Anyway, for me, I will say that I continue to believe she's innocent. Look, reasonable doubt. That's what I'm going to say.
I agree. I agree. I'm leaning towards she probably didn't do it, but I can't say 100%. But I mean,
if she did it, what is wrong with these people?
Right. I can't imagine a world where these people would behave like that.
It's crazy. The poor dog is like, what did I do?
I know. And the evidence collection, solo cups and bags.
The whole thing is all. Yeah. I don't see how they're going to overcome all that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really just don't think she did it, but there you go. So I have 2 quotes since I was talking about Machiavelli, I have 2 quotes from Machiavelli. The first one is from The Prince. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception.
Oh.
That's good, right? And then he said in The Discourses, men are driven by 2 principal impulses, either by love or by fear.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I looked up what she has said.
Oh, good.
So, of course, this caught my eye because it's a quote from the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
And that's based on a story by Stephen King, who obviously I love, from Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption. And it is...
Wait, who said this? Karen Reed said it?
She did.
She quoted the Shawshank?
She did.
Oh, boy. That's a little bit much, okay?
I honestly, I was like, wow, that's kind of douchey, but
this is why people don't like her, okay?
I thought it was funny. I was like, really?
Oh, my God.
And wait until you hear it. Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things. And that's all she did. She didn't do the end, which is, and no good thing ever dies.
Oh, well, I'm glad she didn't do the last part.
Yeah, she didn't need to.
What is wrong with her?
That's what I thought was interesting. That's why I was, wow.
They asked her in the hallway why they changed their strategy. And she goes, we don't do reruns. Again, a little, watch your tone, sweetheart. Watch your tone. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No.
All right. Well, with that, we will say farewell, adieu.
Good day.
Hey, Kristen, how's it tracking?
With Carvana Value Tracker.
What else?
Oh, it's tracking. In fact, Value Surge Alert trucks up 2.5%. Vans down 1.7%.
Just as predicted.
Mm-hmm.
So, we gonna...
I don't know. Could sell, could hold.
The power to always know our car's worth.
Exhilarating, isn't it?
Tracking.
Always know your car's worth with Carvana Value Tracker.